Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Texarkana, Texas City Council. Today is Monday, August the 11th, 2025. Can you hear me? Okay. Today is Monday, August the 11th, 2025. I'd like to welcome everyone joining us in the audience this evening, as well as those
Here.
Ms. Hart. Ms. Page.
Here.
Mr. Davis.
Here.
Here.
Mr. Thompson.
here. We do have a full council this evening, and
Here.
Ms. Hart. Ms. Page.
Here.
Mr. Davis.
Here.
Here.
Mr. Thompson.
here. We do have a full council this evening, and our invocation and pledge will be led by Councilmember Jay Davis. If everyone will please stand.
Lives on the line for us each and every day, and just ask that you give us a good rest of the month, and just be with all of our teachers and administrators as we have children returning back to school. Amen.
Amen.
Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, under God, indivisible, justice for all.
All right, thank you very much. You may be seated. Excuse me. In reference to our upcoming council meetings, we do have a meeting scheduled for Monday, August the 25th at 5:30 p.m. This will be a meeting pertaining to the fiscal year 2026 public hearing only. Once again, Monday, August the 25th at 5:30 p.m. and I believe that'll be here in the council chamber. Is that correct? Okay, all right. And then our next regularly scheduled council meeting for the month of September will be on Monday, September the 8th at 6 p.m., followed by our meeting in October on Monday, October the 13th at 6 p.m. In reference to our Parks and Recreation activities, we still have quite a bit going on around the city. On August the 30th and 31st, we'll have the USSSA softball tournament at Swanger Complex. September 6th and 7th will be the USSSA softball tournament at Swanger Complex. And for additional information, you can contact the city or log on to the city's website for more additional information. And we also have an APA Texas East Section Workshop. The APA Texas East Section Roadshow and Workshop will be held on Friday, September the 5th from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. at the Hotel Grimm at 301 Professional Development, collaboration, networking, and on-the-ground learning. And I think Mayor Brown and I will be there to provide a welcome for that meeting. And then we'll move along now to our open forum comments from the public. If there's anyone in the audience this evening who would like to address the council, you're welcome to do so. You will have up to 5 minutes to speak during items. Then I'll ask if you'll please wait until we get to that particular item. We're more than happy to listen to your comments at that time. Ms. Evans, did we have any forms filled out? Okay. We do ask you also to complete one of the forms there by the door if you want to speak to the council. Does anyone want to address the council this evening? Not seeing anyone coming forward. At this time, move along to appointments to boards, commissions, and committees. Do we have any appointments or reappointments to boards, commissions, or committees this evening? Councilmember Metter.
I have three, Mayor. This has 3 reappointments to the Planning and Zoning Commission: Gene Northam and James Larkins.
Okay, all right. Mr. Davis.
And I also have one. This is going to be a new to an alternate position for the Board of Adjustment, David Crenshaw.
Okay, for Board of Adjustment. Are there any others by the council? I do have one this evening for the council. It's a reappointment to Councilmember Thompson for the Bi-State IAC Committee. His term is about to expire, and so he's expressed an interest to be reappointed to that board, and certainly appreciate your service to that board, Councilmember Thompson. Councilmember Thompson and I serve on that board together, representing Texarkana, Texas. Are there any others? If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Page. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Hart. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The appointments have passed. I want to thank our citizens who are being appointed as well as those who are being reappointed. We want to thank them for our service, including our council as well. At this time, move along to our items for consideration. We do have several items this evening on the consent agenda. Item 1 is to consider approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of the City Council held on July 14th, approve an agreement with United Healthcare for for fiscal year 2026 to provide medical, dental, approve an agreement with United Healthcare for fiscal year 2026 to provide medical, dental, and vision insurance benefits for the city employees in an amount not to exceed $7,600,000. Item number 3, resolution number 2025-115, authorizing the city manager to execute a contract $738.82. Funds are available in the Utilities 2024-2025 budget in the Texas Capital Improvement Fund. Item number 4, resolution number 2025-116, approving the Texarkana Airport Executive Director to auction off aged-out airport equipment. Item number 517, authorizing the city to execute a contract with Business Communications Systems, Connex, for a shared VoIP phone service of $158,739.84 over a 3-year period, with the Texas portion being $42,004.54, with funds budgeted in the technology and departmental budgets. Item number 6, resolution number 2025-118, authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement with Artex Ready for the operation and management of the assembly line located at 215 Pine Street, Pitch It TXK, and the Ready Set Move programs in an amount not to exceed $2,050,000, with grant funds of $2 million from the TLL Temple Foundation, budgeted in the Assembly Line Fund, Fund 249, and Economic Development Funds in the amount of $50,000, budgeted in the Economic Development Fund, Fund 223. Item number 7, resolution number 2025-119, authorizing the city manager to continue accepting annual HUD Continuum of Care grant awards not to exceed $1 million annually in partnership with the Texarkana Homeless Coalition, and to execute any and all documents to fulfill the requirements of the grant. Item number 8, resolution number 2025-122, accepting the sole bid and authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with Coburn Supply Company of Texarkana, Texas, in an amount not to exceed $1 million of the 10-inch water main along US 82, serving several member cities and wholesale customers, with funds available through the State Infrastructure Bank loan of the 10-inch water main along US 82, serving several member cities and wholesale customers, with funds available through the State Infrastructure Bank loan authorized by resolution number 2025-101. Item number 9, resolution number 2025-123, authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with RBI project in amount not to exceed $136,597.50. Funds are available in the Utilities 2024-2025 budget in the Texas 2023 Bond Construction Fund. Unless a council member would like to pull one or more items for further consideration, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as it has been presented. Is there a motion for approval? And a second by Councilmember Thompson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Have by Councilmember Thompson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Have one action item this evening. Resolution -111, acknowledging submission. One action item this evening. Resolution -111, acknowledging submission of the Texas Tax Code calculations of the city's no new revenue tax rate of 0.603797 per $100 of assessed valuation, and voter approval tax rate of 0.650101 of assessed valuation, proposing a tax rate of 0.650000 per $100 of assessed valuation for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2025 and ending September 30th, 2026. In notice of the proposed tax rate. Note, this resolution, if passed by the City Council, does not adopt a tax rate, but rather proposes for publication the same tax rate adopted last year. A public hearing and council record vote to adopt the proposed tax rate will be held on September the 8th, 2025. And once again, that will require a roll call vote. Kristen Peoples, our Chief Financial Officer for the city, is going to provide some additional information pertaining to the resolution. Good evening, Kristen.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As you stated, this is a proposal to publish notice to the public that we are going to put a rate of 65 cents into the budget that will be presented tonight. As you mentioned, this rate does exceed the no new revenue tax rate of 0.603797 and is less than the voter approval rate of 0.650101. And again, as you mentioned, this is not it's for us to give notice to the public, and that is done on the city's website, and also it's for us to give notice to the public, and that is done on the city's website and also in the Texarkana Gazette. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Kristen. Any questions by the council? Okay, all right, very good. A motion for approval of the resolution. Is there a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Davis. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Matlock. This item does pertain to a resolution, so there's not a caption. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The resolution passes unanimously. Moving on to items on our first briefings this evening. Item 1 is resolution number 2025-110, approving the fiscal year 2026 master fee list, including reauthorization of building permit fees. And Kristen is going to brief us on this item. Kristen?
Good evening again. Fees for various services that we provide. So I'll step through all of the changes, and then if you have any specific questions, we have representatives from our departments in the audience that could answer more specific questions. This agenda item proposes increasing fire inspection fees for hospitals. That fee will be increased from $350 to $450. The following fire permit fees are going to $150. Those include fire extinguishing system, sprinkler standpipe, installation removal, sprinkler standpipe, installation removal, USTs, and fireworks. Swimming pool inspection fees, the late fee is going from $0 to $100. The first reinspection fee is going from $0 to $125. Health service inspection fees, these are mandated by the state. For food service, we previously had a minimum of $275. Now the range will be $129 up to $386.50, depending on sales volume. Daycares are going from $150 minimum. Now they will be $129. Mobile food unit, previous Spring Lake and Wallace Parks. Half a day renting from $20 to $40. All day rental from $25 to $50. Neighborhood park pavilion rentals, this includes Bell, Joplin, and Carr Parks. There will be no changes to addition of turf field rental, tournament fee, and trash service, trash penalty fees for both Wallace and Swanger Parks. Turf field practice rental will be $50, trash service $250, trash penalty $1,000, and tournament fee $1,000. Water and sewer rates, and those are based on the approved water and sewer rate study. We have the addition of industrial wastewater discharge water permit fee for new applicants, $475 for significant amounts and $375 for minor amounts. Trucked liquid waste discharge permit, Class LNS. Industrial water discharge permit for existing applicants is going from $50 to $100. The proposed changes to the master fee list, and those would go into effect starting in October, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Any questions on this item? Kristen, on this item? Okay, thank you, Kristen. Appreciate the information. Item number 2 is resolution number 2025-114, amend purchasing policy manual. And Mr. Reed Russell is going to brief the council on this item. Good evening, Reed.
Good evening, Council. This is just a resolution that makes some minor alterations to our purchasing policy to align them with some changes in the state law and other procedural changes we've made. So I'm just going to hit some of the highlights for y'all. So it updates the competitive bidding threshold to $100,000 based upon that was upped in a recent state law that was passed in this session. It also provides guidance for personal funds that are reimbursed for city purchases. It also updates our surplus property policy and adds a cybersecurity policy to purchasing that is required for the CyberStar program that we're seeking to become part of. It also sets clearer rules and documentation for credit cards and quotes. It updates our purchasing duties to reflect some position changes. And finally, it adds some purchasing policies for external organizations to make sure they align with the city procedures that we are currently doing. So if y'all have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions for Reed? All right, thank you, sir. All right, appreciate the information. Item number 3, ordinance number 2025-120, amending the budget estimate of revenues and expenditures for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2025, and adopting the budget and appropriating resources for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2025, and ending September 30th, 2026. And once again, this will require a roll call vote. And I failed to mention when we started this section on first briefings, we will have public hearings on all of these items at our next meeting on September the 8th. And so Kristen is back to brief us on this item. Kristen?
Good evening again. This is a presentation for the fiscal year 26 budget. Most of the presentation covers sales tax revenue accounts for about 52% of the general fund budget. Sales tax revenue accounts for about 52% of the general fund budget. Fiscal year to date collections as of the month of July, which is for May sales, it lags by 2 months, is $14.7 million. That's an increase of almost $562,000. The estimated fiscal year 25 collections to finish out this fiscal year is $22.7 million. After expense, this is a 2% increase in revenue compared to the prior year, or about 404% increase in revenue compared to the prior year, or about $444,000. The estimated fiscal year 26 collections is just over $23 million, and that's a 2% increase, or $453,000. I just want to note we still have 4 more months of collection consideration, the accrual for 2 months at the end of the fiscal year. As you're aware, we are limited on our revenue collection for property tax based on the no new revenue and voter approval tax rate calculation. That allows for us to have a 3.5% increase on maintenance and operation revenue. That does limit our revenue ability some, and so our plan will be to maintain an overall tax rate of 65 cents, and we'll use the additional revenue that we can and put that into debt service to pay for capital expenditures. We currently anticipate council consideration to issue tax notes of approximately $1.475 million to be paid back over a 13-month period. And we'll be bringing an agenda item forward for consideration at the September 8th meeting. Property tax revenue, and the increase for property valuation was approximately $176 million, and that was about 4.68%. Of that, 3.11% was in the Texarkana City jurisdiction, 13 in TERS 1, and 12.42% in TERS 2. Interest in sinking, an increase of $879,000, TERS 1, $435,000, and TERS 2. The proposed budget does include anticipated salary, longevity increases for non-civil service personnel, fire department personnel, a 3% increase to base salary, step increases and longevity increase to base salary, step increases and longevity increases. Police Department personnel, 3% increase to base salary, step increases, longevity increases, and cell phone stipends for patrol officers. The estimated total cost for compensation increases include benefits but does not take into consideration the health and dental insurance increases that we'll talk about on the next slide. The increased cost for employee health insurance, which will include medical, dental, and vision insurance, is approximately $1.8 million. Medical premium, the total cost of those premiums is just under $7 million, with 79% paid by the employer and 20% paid by the employee. Health savings account contributions, there's no proposed increase for those. Those will remain the same at an estimated cost of $832,000, and that's 100% funded by the employer. Dental premiums, there's an increased cost of $1,000. The total cost for dental premiums is $460,000. Vision premiums have an increased cost of $12,000 and a total cost of $52,000, and that is 100% employee funded. The city was notified in December of '23 that the fire pension fund has an inadequate contribution arrangement. The current funded ratio is 81.3%, and that is an unfunded actuarial accrued liability of almost $9.9 million. The Fire Pension Board and the city are working collaboratively to develop an agreed contribution increases and existing risk-sharing mechanisms, and the proposed budget does include a placeholder for that. Contribution increases and existing risk-sharing mechanisms, and the proposed budget does include a placeholder for that. Other expenditures included in this budget: major street maintenance of $1.475 million, and that's with the proposers, $207,000. Technology, $875,000. Demolition and revitalization, $100,000. Downtown enhancement, $125,000. Of just over $2.2 million. Public, $60,000. T-line bus system, $247,000. Airport operations, $578,000. Airport capital projects, $2.5 million. Health department funding, $100,000. And Bowie Central Appraisal District, $464,000. We have several one-time use of fund balance items included in this budget. A transfer to the Fleet Capital Replacement Fund for the purchase of a Quint fire truck, $1.7 million. Transfer to the Home Program Fund for city match is $20,000. Transfer to the Airport Fund for the runway project, $427,000 for a total project commitment of $2.260 million. Addition of a contingency line item for unforeseen items, $1.4 million, or approximately 3% of general fund operating expenditures. Replacement of fire department radios over a period of 3 years, $100,000 per year for a total of $300,000. An ADA transition plan, $150,000. Grant match for replacement of generators, $20,000. Scanning of birth and death records to automate the process, $225,000. A comprehensive study of city personnel and positions, $100,000. Funding for capital projects for the police department, $1 million. And funding for capital projects for parks and recreational areas, $1 million. Items included in the budget are cell phone stipends for police department patrol officers, $37,000. Movement of cell phone data extraction cost to the general fund for police in FY27, $36,000. Vital statistics software $46,000 one-time cost with a $15,000 recurring cost. Additional contribution for the library, $60,000 annually. In the technology fund, risk management software, $33,000 one-time cost and a $27,000 recurring cost. In the TIFMAS fund, replacement of nozzles for the fire department, $28,000. Replacement of 6 thermal imaging cameras for the fire department, $28,000. Storage facility for equipment, $75,000. And one half of them was already replaced in FY25. So with all of that included, this shows the breakdown of revenue over expenditures for each of the fiscal years budgeted. The recurring revenue and expenditures are balanced. You do see that expenditures are over revenue, and that's due to one-time use of fund balance projects. The estimated days of expenditures and unassigned fund balance is 113 days at the end of FY26. And as a reminder, the city has a policy to maintain 60 days of general fund expenditures. Use of fund balance projects that were approved, in FY25 fiscal year. Those will roll to FY26, and we'll keep working on those. And then this is the one-time use of fund balance projects proposed for FY26, and those are the ones that we just discussed, but that just outlines all of the expenses. We did have 3 meetings with our Budget Advisory Committee, their recommendations. First recommendation was to prepare a popular annual financial report, which is a brief financial report for the public that meets the requirements of GFOA. Align operations of associated entities and shared departments, including TWU, the airport. Bring the information technology department into the budget of both cities. Implement personnel increases of 3% for civil service, police and fire, and 2% for non-civil service employees. Continue working with insurance consultant to finalize insurance contract and develop cost-saving strategies. Use additional property tax revenue to pay debt service by issuing tax notes or bonds for major street maintenance projects and other capital items. Restore the Housing Finance Corporation. Work towards a funding solution for the fire pension plan. Allocate $200,000 annually in the TWU budget for incentives for water and sewer extension and new residential developments. Continuation of the following TWU projects: the Wagner Creek wastewater treatment plant upgrade, metering and energy audit, Highway 82 water main relocation, and finalize the contract extension with Graphic Packaging. Metering and energy audit, Highway 82 water main relocation, and finalize the contract extension with Graphic Packaging. Increase water and sewer rates based on the adopted rate study effective October 1st. Implement wholesale water contract CPI increases effective January. And that concludes the presentation, but I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Any questions for Kristen? Budget in addition to our Budget Advisory Committee, Mr. Kelly Mitchell is in the audience this evening, who served done. Kelly Mitchell is in the audience this evening, who served done. No increase in our prices on practically everything that we consume or purchase, and as well. Is ordinance number 2020 that raises more total property taxes than the previous year. Note, as far as the posting date of this agenda, the reference property tax proposed for the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget is a tax rate of .6500 per $100 of assessed value. The same tax rate adopted for fiscal year 2024-2025. This will also entail a roll call vote. Kristen?
Good evening again. As you mentioned, the current budget that we're proposing includes a tax rate of 65 cents, which is the same rate that exists today. But because it does exceed the no new revenue rate, Local Government Code Section 102.007 requires you to ratify a budget that raises more property tax revenue than the previous year. And so that's the purpose of this agenda item, but I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Okay. Any questions for Kristen? Okay, very good. Item number 5 is ordinance number 2025-121, fixing the tax rate and levy in for the city of Texarkana, Texas, for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2026, upon all taxable property in the city of Texarkana, Texas. This will also require a roll call vote. Kristen?
Good evening again. As you mentioned, the tax rate proposed in the budget is 65 cents, the same as it is today. This does exceed the no new revenue tax rate and is less than the voter approval tax rate. There will be a public hearing on this agenda item at the September 8th meeting, but this agenda item is to approve a tax rate of 65 cents.
Any questions on this item? Okay, very good. Thank you, Kristen, for all those updates this evening. We do have 2 additional items under first briefings, items 6 and 7. These items are related items. Item number 6, ordinance number 2025-124, rezoning Lot 19, Block 6, H.S. Janes Headright Survey, A3-06, located in the 1300 block of Letter Carrier Drive, which is in Ward 2, from Single Family 2 to Single Family 3, Alvin Battle, owner. Item number 7, ordinance number 2025-125, granting a specific use permit to allow the location of a HUD code manufactured home on Lot 19, Block 6, H.S. Janes Headright Survey, A-306, located in the 1300 block of Letter Carrier Drive. Once again, Ward 2, Alvin Battle, owner. And once again, on these 2 items, we'll have public hearings at our next meeting. Good evening, Michelle.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. So this is a request to rezone a lot in the 1300 block of Letter Carrier Drive from Single Family 2 to Single Family 3, and for a specific use permit for a HUD code manufactured home on this lot. The future land use map designates this property as industrial. The adjacent zoning is Single Family 2 to the south, east, and west, and commercial to the north. The adjacent land use is residential to the north and vacant land to the south, east, and west. The stipulations for the HUD code manufactured home to be allowed on this property is that it must be a 2020 or newer. It must be tied down, skirted, and other city codes and ordinances must be met. Planning and Zoning unanimously approved this item, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. Other city codes and ordinances must be met. Planning and Zoning unanimously approved this item, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions for Michelle on these 2 items? Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now move along to our public hearings portion of the agenda. We do have 5 public hearings scheduled this evening. Chapters 28, 36, and 140 of the city's Code of Ordinances relating to the regulation of coin-operated machines, distance restrictions in all zoning districts for exhibition of coin-operated machines in all zoning districts for exhibition of coin-operated machines, and prohibition of gambling devices in certain amusements. Who would like in the audience who would like to address the council, if you'll please come forward and state your name for the record. Not seeing anyone coming forward at the time to declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion for approval of the ordinance? Audience who would like to address the council, if you'll please come forward and state your name for the record. Not seeing anyone coming forward at the time to declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion for approval of the ordinance?
So moved.
Ms. Evans, the caption, please.
So moved.
Ms. Evans, the caption, please.
-1 and 36-5F, the caption of Article 3, deleting Section 36-65 from Article 3 and adding new Article 4, coin-operated machines, Chapter 28, Offenses and Miscellaneous Provisions, repealing in its entirety Article 5, Curfew for Minors, and replacing with new Article 5, Gambling Devices and Certain Amusement Redemption Machines Prohibited. And Chapter 140, Zoning, adding to Article 4, District Use Regulations, new Section 140-82, restriction in all zoning districts on exhibition of coin-operated machines or coin-operated amusement machines, containing repealer, severability, superseding, and penalty, containing legislative findings, and establishing effective dates.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ordinance passes unanimously. Items 2 and 3 are related. We'll handle them each separately. Item number 2 is ordinance number 2025-106, rezoning on an approximate 3.498 acre tract of land being Tract 201, George Brindley Headright Survey A-18, located at 3133 Pleasant Grove Road, from Single Family 1 to Plan Development Office. David Potter II, owner. Kayla Wood, MTG Engineers and Surveyors Agent. At this time, I'll declare the public hearing open on this item. If anyone would like to address the council, if you'll please come forward and state your name for the record. Not seeing anyone coming forward at this time, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Ms. Evans, the caption, please.
I take a motion first.
I'm sorry, is there second by Councilmember Thompson. Ms. Evans, the caption, please.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Texarkana, Texas, amending the zoning ordinance.
Second by Councilmember Thompson. Ms. Evans, the caption, please.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Texarkana, Texas, amending the zoning ordinance of the City of Texarkana, Texas, by rezoning on an approximate 3.498 acre being.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ordinance passes. Item number 3 is ordinance number 2025-107, an approximate 3.498 acre tract of land being Tract 201, George Brindley Headright Survey A-18, located at 3133 Pleasant Grove Road, which is located in Ward 5. David Potter II, owner. Kayla Wood, MTG Engineers and Surveyors Agent. At this time, I declare the public item. If anyone would like to address the council, please come forward. At this time, I declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion for approval of the ordinance?
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilmember Page. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Metter. Ms. Evans, the caption, please.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Texarkana, Texas, amending PD-25-2, amending PD-25-20 for site plan approval on an approximate 3.498 acre being Tract 201, George Brindley HRS A-18, located at 3133 Pleasant Grove Road in the city of Texarkana, Bowie County, Texas, containing a repealer clause, containing a severability clause, and establishing an effective date.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ordinance passes unanimously. Moving along to item number 4, ordinance number 2025-108, granting a specific use to allow a HUD code manufactured home on lots 1 and 2, block 17, Grandview Edition, located at 3909 Alexander Avenue, Ward 2, Jonathan Hamilton, owner. At this time, I declare the public hearing open. If anyone would like to address the council on this item, please come forward. Motion by Councilmember Page. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Matlock. Ms. Evans, the caption, please.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Texarkana, Texas, amending the zoning map showing the location, boundary, and use of certain property by the granting of specific use permit number home on lots 1 and 2, Block 17, Grandview Edition, located at 3909 Alexander Avenue in the city of Texarkana, Bowie County, home on lots 1 and 2, Block 17, Grandview Edition, located at 3909 Alexander Avenue in the city of Texarkana, Bowie County, Texas, containing a repealer clause, containing a severability clause and establishing an
Number 45, ordinance number 2025-109, rezoning the north half of lots 9 through 12 and part of Alley, Block 55, Grandview Edition, located at 1616 ordinance number 2025-109, rezoning the north half of lots 9 through 12 and part of Alley, Block 55, Grandview Edition, located at 1616 Iowa Street in Ward 2, from Single Family 3 to Two Family 2. I'll declare the public hearing open on this item. If anyone would like to address the council, if you'll please come forward and state your name for the record. At this time, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion for approval of the ordinance?
So moved.
Motion by Councilmember Hart. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Matlock. Ms. Evans, the caption.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Texarkana, Texas. Ordinance of the City of Texarkana, Texas, by rezoning on the north one half of lots 9 through 12 and part of Alley, Block 55, Grandview Edition, located at 1616 Iowa Street in the City of Texarkana, Bowie County, Texas, from C to Two Family 2, containing a repealer clause, containing a severability clause, and establishing an effective date.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ordinance passes. This concludes our public hearings portion of the agenda. We'll now move along to the city manager's report. Dr. Orr.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just a few updates to pass along to you tonight. First off, last week, members of our team attended the 2025 National Brownfields Conference and presented over a number of development projects that utilize brownfields cleanup grants. And I want to give a big congratulations to our management fellows that are in the audience, Reed Russell and Ryan Galvan, for receiving the People's Choice Award for a poster competition at the national conference. So their poster was on the Hotel Grimm redevelopment. It showcased our commitment to historic preservation, community revitalization, and innovation in urban planning. Also a fire department update. So we're excited to announce the arrival of Texarkana's first ever rescue boat. There's a picture of it on the screen there. This marks a milestone for our community and continued efforts for emergency response. Also adding to the momentum, we have our new outdoor weather sirens that were budgeted this system and have broader coverage throughout the city. Just a couple other updates. Our Texarkana, Texas Industrial Development Corporation met for the first time in a number of years. Council, thanks to your recommendation and approval of the new board members, Dennis Washington, Leslie Ledwell, Rob Sitterly, Steve Mayo, and Patton Tidwell, on strategic priorities and development opportunities in the industrial corridor, specifically Falvey Industrial Park. And also at the same time, at the last meeting, the council recommended board members for the Community Development Corporation. They met as well this past month and officially on July 30th. So those board members include Donna Chapman, Chiquita Burks, Juan Bastamente, Corey Robinson, Will Humphrey, Deanna Malister, Christine Foster, and Teresa Dusan. The board meeting will also occur in September, where they will elect their officers and discuss strategic priorities for community development projects. And finally, just to save the date, National Night Out, I know is a favorite community event that all of our council and mayor attends, and so that'll take place October 7th. More information will be sent out as we have neighborhood block parties that are registered through the police department. That's all.
Okay, very good. Thank you, David. Appreciate your report. We'll now move along to administrative comments by the council this evening to the staff. Everything going well out in your wards? Ms. Matlock, did you have something?
I don't have any comments to the staff, but I would like to everyone to know that we had a scholarship given by the Texas Association of Black City Council Members to Mr. Dion Carson. I've been knowing Dion since he's first grade. This is our second one. We had one last year, Mr. Murphy, Derek Murphy from LE, he got one. This guy's from Texas High. So that's the second person in Texarkana to receive a scholarship from the TAB-CCM.
Oh, very good. Thank you for sharing that, Ms. Matlock. So congratulations to those two recipients. So very well deserved. Okay. Anything else from the council this evening? Okay, all right. If not, then I will entertain a motion for adjournment. Do we have a motion for adjournment? We have a motion by Councilmember Hart. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Page. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. All right, we are adjourned. Thank you all very much for being